What's going on, y'all? So we were just having a discussion on, is it a good idea to have a job as an entrepreneur? And so then that brought us into the whole thing of, if you already have a job, when is a good idea to quit? And we're actually talking about my experience of it. And so this is actually a very important topic that I want to talk about with you guys today. You know, because we've talked a lot about on this channel, if it's a good idea to drop out of high school as an entrepreneur, should you even go to college? Should you drop out of college? But we haven't talked much about, you know, if you already have a job, or if you should start with a job as an entrepreneur, and when is a good idea to quit, everything like that. So that's actually what I want to get into today. But before you do it, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button for me, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment down below. What is your current situation? Are you guys currently working, trying to build your business? Have you already gone all in as an entrepreneur? What is your current situation? When I actually started having success with Shopify dropshipping, it got to the point really quickly that I had replaced my income as a firefighter, and I could have just immediately left. You know, I actually waited quite a bit of time before I left the fire department. I could have left months before I did, but I made sure that I had essentially had multiple months of quite a bit of success. I had multiple months of 6 figures in revenue with my Shopify store before I quit. And this actually does come into play with what I'm going to talk about, because it frankly did help me a lot moving forward. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Alright, if you guys have been following Gary Vee, within the last week he had some post. There was a question that he said, if you're trying to, something along the lines, if you're trying to build your dreams, you're trying to become an entrepreneur, would you be willing to work as either at McDonald's or Burger King? And this brought up a very important question, and it directly applies what we're talking about today. So one thing I've seen a lot lately of is somewhat of a lack of humility in new entrepreneurs. So when I say young entrepreneurs, I don't necessarily mean age young, I mean young in the entrepreneur lifespan. I've seen a lack in humility that, you know, because they're wanting to, whether it's show off to friends or whether it's, you know, for themselves, you know, they don't want to work a job. And, you know, that is the goal of all of us as entrepreneurs. We don't want to, we want to have that financial time freedom. We don't want to be restrained by a 9-to-5. But, you know, there is a benefit, a huge benefit to having a 9-to-5 job when you're starting as an entrepreneur. You know, the whole thing is when you're actually able to go ahead and, you know, work at your job and pay your bills from your job, and then every bit of profit that's coming from your new business is going right back into the business. It's like pouring gas on the fire, guys. And this is a big problem I see with entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs, is that they take too much from the business, and then, you know, they can't keep the forward progress, or the forward progress is just insanely slow. And this is the benefit I had when I was, you know, with the fire department. I was able to pay all my bills fine through what I was making with the fire department. That way, literally everything I was making from the business was going straight back into the business, and it literally was lighting it on fire. I mean, this is, you know, I was able to have pretty explosive growth with my businesses because of it. Now, you know, a big problem I've been seeing is that, you know, everybody's, you know, itching so hard to get out of the 9-to-5, because, you know, that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, is that you work for yourself, you don't have the 9-to-5. Everybody's itching to get out of the 9-to-5, that a lot of times, you know, for some people don't even want to start with a 9-to-5, or if they do, they decide to just go all in. You know, I've heard that a lot lately, like, oh, you know, I'm going to be this great entrepreneur. I've quit my job to go all in as an entrepreneur. Now, there are certain circumstances where, you know, this could be fine if you already have, you know, large amount of savings built up, and I'm talking about where you can sustain yourself for months, months and months and months. You know, you might be fine just going ahead and not working a 9-to-5 to start as a, you know, an entrepreneur. But what I would highly suggest is, during the start phase, go ahead and have a 9-to-5 that pays your bills. That way, one, you're not stressed out with essentially how are you going to live, but two, you don't have to take from the business as it starts picking up momentum. Because if you're constantly trying to take out of the business to live, you're completely stopping that forward progress, guys, and that's just not good. So, you know, it brings up the question, when is a good idea to go ahead and quit your job, because at some point you will want to do that. It will make sense, and you're going to want to do that. That way you can essentially invest all your time into growing as an entrepreneur and growing and building your businesses. So, you know, one thing I would say right off the bat is to go ahead and have consistency. You know, this is where, you know, it really benefited me to, you know, have months, consistent months, while still working at the fire department. That way I knew if I left, you know, it's not like the next month I'm just going to lose everything. I had consistent, really high months that I was pretty accurate at predicting what I was going to make the next month. That's what you guys want. One problem I've seen lately, and this is actually from younger entrepreneurs, I've seen this lately, is multiple entrepreneurs essentially being proud of going all in. You know, you do want to go all in at some point. You need to, you know, make that leap of faith and go all in, but you need to do it when it's, you know, the right time. One thing I've seen lately, and I've seen this from not just one person, I've seen this from a few different people now. Essentially, they'll have a few weeks of success, and you know, this is typically with, you know, drop shipping, a few weeks of success, so they'll go ahead and quit their job. And then what happens is, you know, they think they're just going to continue making all this money, and they're going to make, you know, a lot more money. And when I say a couple weeks of success, I've seen a range from, you know, a couple weeks to a couple months of, you know, a lot of success. And then I've seen other people, you know, barely make any money. They haven't even really replaced their income with their job, but they think it's going in that direction. They quit their job, and then they're screwed, because then the next week, you know, everything falls apart. They didn't have a good base built up. They didn't really know what they're doing, and now they're screwed. Now they're scrambling to go look for another job, everything like that. But the whole point here is, guys, don't be ashamed to have a job. It's going to cause more work. You're going to be working a lot more hours than if you're a full-time entrepreneur, but it's going to help things long-term for you so much more. And essentially that's what I did with the fire department. We would work 24 hours on, 48 hours off. Every bit of free time I had at the fire station, I was working on my Shopify businesses. But then I would get off for the 48 hours, and I was working literally 16 hours a day or more on the businesses to make them work. And that's something that I'm seeing lacking with many entrepreneurs, is that it takes being uncomfortable to make, you know, something great happen, many times at least. And so this applies to, you know, having a job, getting off of your job, you know, having dinner, working out, whatever, and then grinding all night on your business. That's what it takes, guys. The whole point here is, guys, it's okay to have a job when starting out as an entrepreneur. You don't need to be this full-time entrepreneur like you see everybody talking about. You know, many of those people you see had jobs when they were building things up, you know, like myself, like many other people. So just keep that in mind. Take your time with everything. Have patience. And don't make premature decisions. It'll serve you guys so much better in the end if you guys do that. Alright guys, I hope you found some value in this video. You know, this is definitely a very important talk that, you know, I'll probably want to expand upon in the future, because this is a mistake I've been seeing lately with many people, is, you know, essentially not willing to work a 9-to-5 or being ashamed to work a 9-to-5 when it's actually good for you guys. So if you guys could please leave me a like on this video, hit subscribe if you haven't already, turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment down below, you know, what's your current situation? Are you currently working at a job? Do you want to work at a job? I had a guy the other day comment that he wants to be an entrepreneur, but he wants to also make a career of being a firefighter. And this is, you know, not a bad thing, guys. Don't be ashamed of whatever your situation is, whatever your desires are, your dreams. Everybody has different dreams. So don't be ashamed of that. Leave a comment down below, whatever your situation is. I'd love to go ahead and connect with you guys. Keep grinding, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.